Welcome to the lesson on the triangle sum theorem. In this lesson, we will discuss what is perhaps one of the most important theorems in geometry and one of the most critical theorems in helping you solve very many problems. Now, the angles in a triangle will always add up to 180 degrees, and we can prove this in a few ways. We'll first take a look at how we can simply take a physical triangle and manipulate some of the angles. So on some paper, and you can do this on your own at home, on some paper you can plot 2 points, or 3 points rather, and connect those 3 points because we know that any 3 points will give us a triangle. So I'll quickly connect these 3 points and label my 3 angles A, B, and C. Now I have those 3 angles and I want to go ahead and cut out my triangle. So I'll quickly cut this triangle out of the paper that I have. And I'll also want to separate and cut out the angles from the triangle's body itself. And it doesn't really matter how you do this, but I can remove angle A, remove angle B, and remove angle C. Now that I have the triangle's angles away from the body, I can go ahead and rearrange those angles as I see fit. Now they still are angles, regardless of what the other piece of paper looks like. And when I arrange them, they fit perfectly to make a straight line. They match up and line up perfectly with my protractor, which means that A, B, and C of this random triangle I drew add up to 180. If I rearrange them in any possible way, they add up to 180. That is the triangle sum theorem. Let's look at another way we can prove this by use of parallel lines. Let's say I have a triangle, ABC, and a line that goes through C that is parallel to AB. So this dotted line that goes through C and AB are parallel. That would mean that angle 3 and angle B are congruent, and that angle 1 and angle A are congruent. Now remember, we're trying to prove that A, B, and C are equal to 180. So what I do know is that angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 are equal to 180, because like we just saw, they're all on a straight line, so their sum has to be 180. Now we do know that angle 3 is equal to angle B because the lines are parallel and the alternate interior, and that angle 1 was congruent and equal to angle A. And since C and 2 are the same angle, you can say that C is equal to 2. So because of that, A plus B plus C is equal to 180. So just another way we're able to prove and show the triangle sum theorem. Now let's apply this theorem and how we're going to practice these problems and how we're going to complete them successfully. Let's say for problem 1, I want to prove or show that angle A is 46. Well, I know that C plus 44, the value I know for B, plus A will equal to 180 because every triangle is equal to 180. I know angle C is a right angle because of the symbol, so 99, or 90 rather, plus 44 plus A is equal to 180. I continue and do the algebra and subtract 90 and 44, and I get that angle A is equal to 46. Just what we're trying to prove. In this next one, I'm trying to show that CDB is equal to 134. So I can subtract 180, or take 180 and subtract 69 and 65, and I'll get 46, the measure of angle CDA. Since 46 is on the other side, I'll take 180 minus 46, and I'll get 134, the measure of that exterior angle CDB. With this last right angle triangle, I'm trying to show that 90 cannot be A. So 90 plus A plus B is going to equal to 180. And since A plus B will be then equal to 90 after I subtract 90 from both sides, there's no way that B can equal 0 because it has to be an angle. And there's no way that A can equal 0. And because of this, there's no way that A can equal 90 either. Let's take a look at one last practice problem, perhaps one with a little bit more algebra involved. If I take a look at these 3 angles, they're all represented by some type of expression. And I know that regardless, the 3 angles in this triangle will be equal to 180. So x minus 20 plus 2x minus 20 plus x will be equal to 180 degrees. After I do some algebra and I combine all my x's, I'll get 4x minus 40 equals 180 degrees. Add 40 to both sides, I get 220 equal to 4x. So then x is equal to 55. Now that I know x is 55, I can go back and solve for the remaining angles. Angle B will simply be a 55. Angle A will be 55 minus 20, so that'll be 35. And angle C will be 2 times 55, which is 110, minus 20, which will give me 90. So you get all measures of these angles by use of the triangle sum theorem.